I don't know how about you, but I really don't like when enemies besiege my cities or castles and have the audacity to bring more men to the fight than I have. This usually means that once the walls fall, it's game over. Or is it? As a wise man once said, if enemies reach your walls, retreat. Yes, you simply have to retreat. Once you retreat back into your keep, it forces your opponent to retreat too, no matter if they already started to plunder the city or not. This allows you to fight again, the battle restarts, and your enemy will be forced to storm the walls again and again, while suffering shit ton of casualties as you laugh from on top of your walls. Keep in mind though that casualties carry over to the next fight, so as you inflict hundreds of casualties with your archers or even better fians, mangonels and ballistas to enemies rushing towards your walls, you may only suffer a handful of losses, as they will never get there. And as you keep repeating this process, the minds of enemy generals spirals into madness, as you're locked in mortal combat until one side wins the battle, meaning that the besieging army cannot leave until they take the city or you bleed them dry to victory. This is what true guerrilla warfare looks like. This strategy, however, isn't foolproof, and since casualties carry over, all it takes is a straight trebuchet flung rock or arrow to put an end to this. As you become a bloody mess of guts flattened by a rock, all you can do is send in your troops for auto-resolve, while you will lick your wounds. And that would be a no-no, also an automatic loss. So I suggest you double save between battles, and if you're badly outnumbered, I suggest you decrease the battle size to increase your advantage furthermore. You can also do this while attacking, which is something I found out first while recording footage for my next video. Honestly, I don't see a reason to use this trick in attack, unless enemy mangonel snipers take out your siege tower or even worse, your battering ram at the beginning of the battle. This is kind of broken, and I understand why you can do this as an attacker to retreat and rebuild your battering rams or siege towers. But your lost siege equipment just respawns when you retreat, both in attack and defense, so it makes no sense. And in defense, naturally you're giving up the city and retreating into the keep, and it clearly doesn't work like that, allowing you to abuse this system pretty nicely to your advantage. I had to retreat about 11 times during this battle to actually win it, but I only had about 40 archers, most of them militia, so I wasn't able to inflict mass amounts of casualties to enemies each fight. So if you have large amounts of ranged units, just keep them atop of the wall, and once enemies begin to storm the wall or whenever you feel like it's time to retreat, then retreat and attack again to restart the battle. I'd say with decent amount of archers you can probably win in 3 to 5 fights depending on the size of the battlefield and how far enemies spawn away from the walls. It's definitely not the most immersive way of winning siege defenses, but it sure is very effective. I fought this battle head on without retreating and I was only able to deal just over 100 casualties to my enemies, while I lost the city and became a prisoner. However, using this exploit, if you can call it that, I managed to win and wipe the enemy army off of the face of Calradia and was left with a fair amount of men afterwards, and 5 enemy lords that soon after lost their heads. So that about wraps it all up. All you have to do is retreat and live to fight another day. Soon I should have a new video ready about in-depth siege mechanics, and after that I'm going to work on the Aserai unit guide. If you like this type of content and my other videos, please do consider subscribing, and give a like for the OWL algorithms. Also leave a comment telling how large of an army you were able to repel using this very tactic after you try it out. Having said all that, best of luck on the fields of Calradia.